This is the first little open area that I've hit on this trail between Joe Ranger Road and South Pomfret, Vermont. I've got this camera right about at armpit level, so you can see pretty overgrown. Going a little bit uphill, but you know, I guess if there aren't that many hikers who actually get this far going Novo, and there aren't that many southbound hikers this year, it really kind of makes sense that this area is overgrown like this. But so I can warn the snakes, let me go back to walking and clicking my hiking pole so that they know that I'm coming. Of course, I also find that singing, talking to myself out loud, also seems to help scare off any critters. Probably scares off other hikers too, but sometimes that's not a bad thing. All right, check in again later. So you can see some northbound hikers right out here that I just passed, and they're heading that direction. But I also want to give you a little bit of view here. Look at that. So even though this grass is really high, probably hides all kinds of fun critters, this is a beautiful, beautiful view and a beautiful start to this hike. At first I was nervous about these 8 miles, but maybe it won't be so bad. So I'm not sure if this is the first creek I'm supposed to come to, or brook or whatever, but I get to cross this, and as you can see with the AT club here, I'm not sure who it is who does it, but as you can see, they've created a nice little rock stepping area for a person to use. So what I like to do is find rocks that hopefully are not slimy, step and kind of make sure that I've got the weight pretty well and that the rock is going to hold me. And then I try to find another place that's not going to be super slimy. And when I'm crossing rivers and streams and stuff, my philosophy is that rocks are going to be your best friend. See how this one's kind of moving? I don't want that. So I'm going to step, even if it means stepping a little bit farther, that's completely fine. That seems like it's ready to take my weight. So I'm going to step there, step over here on this wood because it's a little bit shorter to get to than this particular rock. Now I'm here, and now I'm just going to go on up. So for me, when I'm crossing streams and creeks and rivers and that kind of thing, rocks are going to be my best friend, especially if they're above the water. If they're underwater, I'm not going to trust them. But if it's underwater, then I like to walk on pebbles and that kind of thing. All right, I've got several more miles to go before I can sleep. So onward and upward, friends. Onward and upward. Not sure if any of you have ever seen an Appalachian Trail shelter sign. This is what this one looks like going to the Thistle Hill Shelter in Maine. And since it's only 1/10 of a mile, I figure I would go on in and kind of shoot some video to show you what an Appalachian Trail shelter looks like. Okay, so I was going to show you a video of the privy and the shelter. Instead, I'm going to put pictures up, hopefully here. And here. But here's the thing about this Appalachian Trail thing, or Appalachian Trail, or however you want to call it. It's real, and it's alive. And when I got to the Thistle Hill Shelter, expecting it to be empty because it's the middle of the day, I ran into a fellow Sobo who recognized me from the Facebook stuff that Hellion Goddess had been posting. His name is Step. And I don't know what time it is right now, but we had probably, and this might offend some of you, and I apologize if it does, but we had probably a 20 or 30 minute visit / prayer meeting / worship service, just reconnect or connect, or it was an incredible experience. And so I guess what I'm trying to say very poorly is you can look at the headlines all you want to, And you can believe whatever you want to believe about the world, about the way it's going. But there are people out here on this trail who are hiking this trail at this very moment that you're watching this video, or maybe depending on when you're watching it, maybe they're sleeping, I don't know. But there are people out here who not only love this trail, but they love the one who made this trail. They love the one who made all of us. So rather than shooting video of the shelter and the privy and explaining, here's what it looks like, I'll do that later. But I've had an experience that I can't translate. So depending on when this gets online, hopefully Hellion Goddess and I will meet up with you on Tuesday and Wednesday coming up at the Inn at the Long Trail. We'll buy you dinner if we can get there and meet up. We'll buy dinner. And I want to hear some more of your stories, buddy. So take care of yourself. Have a great Sabbath. And everybody else who's watching this, I'll see what else I can come up with, okay? Got a hill, sorry. Got a hike. Bye. So people sometimes ask, how do you know where you're supposed to go on the trail? Well, normally you follow white blazes. So the white blazes basically tell you that you're on the right path. But when you see something like this, a double blaze, usually means that the trail is going to move in some direction, or that there's some kind of weird intersection coming up. Because you see how this one, the top one, is a little bit to the right of the bottom one, that lets me know that probably this trail is going to turn a little bit to the right, maybe expectedly, maybe not expectedly, but let's kind of see. So it kind of goes along straight through here. And then sure enough, there's this sharp little turn here. And then you see this sharp little turn back to the left. And now what I try to do in a situation like this is figure out, all right, where am I supposed to go? Because it looks like I go that way, because that looks like pounded trail. And this is why they put the doubles up, because it looks like there's a trail that could potentially go straight through here. But I don't see any white blazes there, but I do see a white blaze up there. So guess what? I'm going that direction. I think I'm probably about halfway into my hike, which at first I thought was 8 miles, but it turns out it's going to be only about 7.6 miles. But still, that's 1.5 times the length that I have had. Anyway, this is a rock wall that actually extends quite a way down the hill on down to the creek. And it kind of makes me wonder if it's maybe not some kind of unnamed, unlabeled relic from the Revolutionary War, because I mean, these are the Green Mountains if I remember correctly, and I'm sure Ethan Allen and his boys did something up through here. So I'm not sure. If I find a historical marker or something, I'll let you know, but this is kind of interesting. Definitely a man-made wall, because nature wouldn't do something that looks like that. All right, back to the hike. Here's more of that wall towards the top of that climb. I can just imagine Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys with their rifled muskets aiming either into that thicket of lush greenery right there, or possibly aiming at any redcoats that they happen to see coming up the hill over there. And again, I could be completely historically flawed on this, but somebody clearly made this. Nature would do something like this, but usually not something that looks so random and haphazard. Nature usually has some kind of a plan that at least people can look at and tell, oh yeah, this is definitely natural because whatever. A beautiful moss-covered rock wall. All right, the trail awaits. So here is a post. If you don't have any telephone poles or trees growing up in the middle of one of these top things, this is what you do. But then you also give people that kind of a view. Amazing. Just amazing. And I wish my cinematography skills were decent, so I apologize. Here's some more of that wall. They're about a mile back, maybe half a mile back. This kind of wall was on both sides of the road. So it kind of reminded me of sort of like a, maybe a Revolutionary War or a Revolutionary era, just road. That's probably where I am, because you can see it's pretty wide. So maybe this is just somebody's boundary line or a fence or whatever, who knows. I really would like to know. But anyway, making up some time here because at least this is a wide path and it's well graded. I don't have to worry about rocks and roots and mud and all that kind of stuff. But, and again, I apologize for the jostling of the video, but I don't know how to do this perfectly yet. So, oh well. So we're doing this channel, right? So you can see our flaws, our failures, and hopefully our successes. Talk to you soon. Yet another view from one of these flat top areas. If I remember correctly, I think this is my last view of the day. One thing I find interesting, I ran into somebody who's going Nobo. He's also kind of day hiking like Haley and Goddess and I are doing. But he lives up in the White Mountain areas of New Hampshire. So what I found interesting is he said that this section of the trail is necessary. I believe he said this section of the trail is necessary, but it's not rewarding. Okay. I mean, I've shown you some of the rewards that I've seen. The wooden, or the rock walls. That... Everybody's got their own thing, I guess. But, I don't know how much longer I've got to go, but I know it's probably going to be at least 2.5, 3 miles. So we'll see. But see you soon, hopefully. Okay, so a slight change of plans because I gave Haley and Goddess the wrong directions on where to pick me up. I actually finished, she picked me up 5 miles into the hike, but I still had 2.2 miles to go. So she's dropped me off at the southern end, and I'm going to be hiking north. Hopefully that still means I keep my SOBO badge. But anyway, so I'm heading across now, and in 2 miles I should be done, hopefully. So hiking the last 2.2 miles going northbound was incredibly draining. I lost a lot of momentum. My fault, but I didn't know the area. I didn't know where to have her pick me up, but that's okay. So I'm completely drained. I don't know if 7.6 miles is my limit or what, but I'm completely drained. And now, to get home, I have to cross this thing. Luckily, somebody put up kind of a metal wire right there, so I'm probably going to try that. The only other place I can think of might be right there. There's a little bit of a shallow beach right over in that area. So, we'll see. Hopefully I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, so Haley and Goddess and I have made it to Gifford Woods State Park in Killington, Vermont. I think I just exaggerated how difficult that stream was. Really, it's been a very long time since I've walked through a stream. It's been probably at least 20 years or so when I last went fly fishing. So it was easy. I just took my shoes off, took my insoles out, took my socks off, and just kind of waded across. One thing I've ran into that was a difficulty was having my trekking poles in my hands. They were kind of useless in many ways, and also I'd kind of forgotten how to walk through water like that. So once I remembered how to do it, it was a piece of cake. But I made it, and that's it. So this was my attempt to try to film a full day of hiking and stuff, kind of like the real YouTube hikers do. I don't know how well it went, but hopefully you're still with us, and thank you for coming along with this journey. I know it's been a lot of ups and downs, literally and figuratively, but hopefully you enjoyed it. So love you much, and we'll try it again at some point whenever we decide we're going to do a longer hike like that. So thank you. Take care. And as always, you know what? Like, subscribe, notifications, whatever. It's completely fine. We're just doing this for the fun of it. So thank you for all your comments and stuff, and we look forward to seeing you later. Bye.